Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis, and I'm here with my orchid assistant Hunter, and I want to do a real quick video today about a Cattleya purpurata that was doing really poorly and is doing really well now. And basically, it's a couple years ago I made a show about Cattleya failures and some problems that I had. So a couple years ago I made an episode about Cattleya failures, and I did a follow-up one about Cattleya successes. And I showed you a Cattleya purpurata that was really amazing, that was really nicely grown, had gigantic pseudobulbs, and now, about a year ago, I saw that the roots had kind of rotted out, the meat had gotten bad, and I didn't notice. So I've repotted it, and I want to turn the camera around and show you what I did, why it's coming back, why it still doesn't look great, but what's going to happen with it in the future. Alright, so this is that Cattleya purpurata that used to be my example of a success story and is now withered and doesn't look great, but is actively recovering. So this is one that I got. This is a semi-alba. This is Cattleya purpurata carnea, and I got this from Poly Orchids, I think back in 2013 when Sergio, the owner, visited Texas. And here's a photo of what it looks like, and you know, it used to just be an amazing plant. And like I said, that was my success story for Cattleyas of how you want to grow them. A bunch of the roots rotted out, and so I repotted it in fresh media. I put it back in another clay pot, and that's pretty much it. I didn't use, the rot hadn't extended into the rest of the plants. The rot hadn't really gone into the bulbs or anything, so there's no reason to use any kind of systemic. I don't use hydrogen peroxide. It's not needed in your collection at all. So basically what you do in that situation is you chop off the rotted roots and you repot it and you walk away, and then you treat it like normally, or at least that's how I do. And you can see the newest bulbs are here. It's got a sheath, so this will probably bloom in May. The new bulb over here is not nearly as large as these old ones used to be. You can see that these were about the size of a hand, and when they are inflated, they're about that wide. So they're a good sort of fist-size pseudobulb. The newest growth here is just maturing, but then the roots are really good. This is a new aerial root, which is kind of annoying. When it gets a little longer, probably out to here, I'll probably snap it off and then kind of push it back into here so that it regrows. That's a good technique you can do for these aerial roots, is when they get long enough, you can cut them, and they typically branch. So you can put it back in there. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please click this little button down here on the bottom right. And don't feel obligated to, but if you feel like this was worth $1 or $2, please click that and add $1 or $2. That will really go a long way to me helping to get a greenhouse right over here, as well as head over to Brazil for an orchid trip in 2024. So all of your orchid donations will go to orchid causes for which I can make additional videos. And as always, thank you very much. This is a root tip that I had break off accidentally recently, but you can see down there, you can see more roots are coming out. You can see new roots are circling the pot. Move these out of the way so you can see this. So this one is making a great comeback. It's doing really nicely despite these sad wrinkled bulbs. And you can see more roots down here. And basically what happens is when you use a brand new media like this and you let it stay dry, or even if you don't let it stay dry, this stuff is hydrophobic. So it's not going to retain moisture for a long time. So basically what you're doing is letting this stay dry even though you're watering it. And that will really prompt the roots to come out and start growing. You can see I used a clip here to hold the plant steady. That's incredibly important, is keeping your plant steady, so that if your plant is in the wind here, Gene has very large fans in here, so as this is happening, these top leaves might be moving, but the roots are not. So if the roots wiggle at all against any kind of media, whether it's the media or the pot or anything at all, they're going to abort. They're going to look like this, and you're not going to get these fantabulous roots circling the pot. Again, if it's just a simple case of the roots were too wet, you don't need to treat them. Just cut off the old ones. You can even let them sit out for a day. Let them get dry and crispy and start looking like this. That's all you need to do. Don't need to get all fancy and crazy with harsh chemicals and trying to kill everything. And just good, new, fresh media, a fresh pot, and let it do its thing. Get into a happy, good environment. And by happy, good, you mean, decent humidity, lots of light. It's actually raining on top of me now. You can't hear that probably, but this gets lots of sun and it gets ideal conditions. And that's all you need to turn your shriveled up pseudobulbs back into a happy, healthy plant. Once these roots encircle the system and they get a big, healthy plant again, these old bulbs will fatten up and it will look good. So those are my Cattleya tips for today. I will see you guys later. Bye.